Have you ever struggled to break old habits and wondered why it's so hard to build new ones? It doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong or you are weak. It's just that our brain is wired to reiterate ingrained habits and therefore reinforce them. But here's the exciting part. Once you understand how willpower works, you will be able to harness it and transform your life. By the end of this video, you will discover the mechanisms behind willpower, several tools to strengthen it, and gain powerful strategies to overcome habits holding you back. So let's move from feeling lost, adrift, and uncertain to being purposeful, grounded, and confident, as several of my clients have done before you. It's very likely that you aspire to change. And actually, I'm sure that you have had moments where you are trying to replace old habits that you don't consider the best anymore with some new habits which you think are healthier, greater, etc., etc. So I will bring you an example, but you can extrapolate this example to any situation in your life where you have experienced something similar. It doesn't matter really which objects to use in this example. So let's say that you have been drinking Coke for 10 years every day, and you have drank like an average 3 glasses of it every day, and usually there are several Coke bottles in your fridge in the kitchen, and you're very, very used to going into the kitchen, opening the door, then taking this fizzy Coke, pouring yourself a glass, enjoying, getting the sweet taste and the dose of pleasure. And as you have been doing this for 10 years, it's so very natural for you that you even don't need to think about this. You just go there, you are thinking other things about maybe your job, something else, and you even don't notice you're pouring yourself this glass. And now you are actually more and more getting aware that it's not the best choice for your health, that it's your cardiovascular health, and other things. So you have decided that I need to change this, and I'm going to replace drinking Coke with drinking still, clean water. But now what happens when you enter the kitchen and you're in the neighborhood of this Coke drink? So you have an urge to still go and open the door and pour yourself a glass, because there is a big neural network which is deeply ingrained, and you just can't make it disappear. It's still there. But at the same time, you have another neural network which you are trying to establish, and this is the decision that no, I'm not going to fall for Coke. I'm taking the still water. I'm pouring myself a glass and drinking this. So actually what you experience is a competition between different neural networks which are competing for being put into action. And this is the very nature of change, because every change in a way brings along a conflict, because several possible neural networks which we possess are up to being executed. So in this situation, you actually need willpower. And of course, depending on the mental state, sometimes we are more tired. If we have followed some kind of decision for a long time, we are more and more going to feel the frustration. For example, in this case, it would be that, oh, I haven't had this taste for so long, but actually I need it. Maybe I will just this time take this Coke, or whatever. There are several possibilities that actually you are not always being able to follow this so-called right or healthier decision. And this is the place where actually you need willpower. And as midlife is often overwhelming, there are so many different tasks. You can be all over the place. So if you are in this situation, willpower is especially important, because the more overwhelmed you are, the more challenging it is to follow your decisions. And here I will bring a very powerful metaphor and also give you several strategies which definitely, and proved by science, help to reinforce your willpower and your decisiveness. Change is related to a set of mixed emotions. From one side, definitely, you feel excited, you are looking for success, and you feel the joy if you achieve success, and every single successful step is giving you a raise in your self-confidence. But at the same time, as you have to abandon something, you also can feel frustrated, a bit of anxiety, and sometimes even fear. So it's also very, very sensible to be prepared for a set of mixed emotions, which are also going to fluctuate. You cannot expect it to be a linear change towards positive. We are constantly going up and down, depending on many factors. Let's say that your mind is a state, it's a country, and you are the governor of this country. So you are the one who actually makes laws, and you expect those laws to be enforced. In this case, it would be that I'm making a new law, and now I'm saying that no more Coke, just water. So I'm expecting this to also happen in reality, but actually real control and the idea of controlling are very different. In the world, there are also countries which formally are unified countries, but actually the capital city has very limited control in this country, and there are other centers of power which are constantly competing with the capital city. So your mind can also be seen in that way. So you as a governor, you don't want your decisions and laws just to be words on paper, but you really truly wish them to happen in reality and have a strong impact. So what do you need here is, let's say, some kind of forces which help you to enforce your decisions. They can be like, let's say, bringing a parallel, a metaphor, like police departments, and if things are very, very difficult and critical, you might even need an army. So if we talk about willpower is like these police departments, your army, and this agent in your mind, which is actually enforcing your decisions. And what is interesting about willpower is that you don't directly control willpower. It doesn't obey directly your conscious decisions. It's sort of a semi-independent agent, because it's depending on the interrelation between different brain parts, and several of them are not directly under your conscious control. But what is interesting definitely here is that through indirect decision making and directing, it's very, very possible to facilitate the growth of willpower. And now I will also go through some scientific explanation just briefly, and let's then delve into strategies to facilitate your willfulness. The deeply ingrained habits and neural patterns reside in the brain part which is called basal ganglia. So let's say that you are going to drink Coke, and there are these competing networks, and basal ganglia is making you feel this urge that all these habits are activating and pushing you towards going and doing what you have done for 10 years. Now there is another brain part, it's called anterior cingulate cortex, and this is actually sending a signal that there are two conflicting decisions, two conflicting neural pathways. One is actually huge, it has lots of force and power. The other is the small one, the new one, what you're trying to establish. It's like a highway compared to a almost invisible path in the grass where somebody has just been walking for a few times. The difference is huge between them. So this anterior cingulate cortex is sending a signal to the prefrontal cortex, which is the highest cognitive processing part of the brain. You reside there. It's like our conscious decisions, our consciousness is thought is residing there, and it's the executive power of the mind. This is why I also have made this parallel with a governor, because consciousness in a way is the governor in a mind. So you are the governor of your mind. Anyways, this signal is sent and it reaches you that, okay, there is a conflict, and you experience this competition between these neural networks as a conflict. And now you are the decision maker. What should I do? Shall I give in and go for Coke, or shall I suppress this ingrained habit and facilitate a new, healthier, a better habit? And if you do this, the signal from anterior cingulate cortex is actually like a plead for help. So somebody is coming to you saying, please help me, actually I'm struggling because all this big ingrained neural network is just overriding me, please help me. So you can do this, but now this so-called departments of police and army, your willpower comes into play. You have to make the decision to favor this fragile new network to make better decisions. And you can compare it with a baby. This new fragile network is just like a baby, a small kid who is not able to stand for herself or himself. So you have to intervene and actually help this small fragile neural network to grow and to flourish, and in the future at some time become the default mode. So if you follow that choice through for, let's say, 3 months, then it would be already possible that it's almost a default choice, that you don't have to think anymore about suppressing drinking Coke, but you would just go and naturally pour yourself some clean still water and drink it. So that kind of really interesting process is actually happening in your mind while you are struggling between those choices. And this is based on scientific research. Of course, I was illustrating it with metaphor, and I don't think we need to delve into, I don't know, very fine details, because the point of this video is not to learn neuroscience, but to deal with practical questions which could be very helpful for you. For carrying through your decisions and choices and being able to replace the old patterns with new ones, you will definitely need mental fuel. And one of the greatest reservoirs of mental fuel is vision. So the future vision of yourself, in the sense how you would have already achieved this. So in this case, when I talked about drinking Coke, probably this visualization would go somehow like this: that I was told by my doctor that actually you have to reduce the sugar intake, you have to opt for healthier choices. So I visualized myself with all those problems which could happen in the future, and that was a dire picture. I'm not looking for this cardiovascular problems, maybe problems with body weight, risk for, I don't know, stroke and other things. So, and now I visualize myself drinking clean water, eating better food, going to work out, sleeping a little bit more. So So I visualize this, and actually it makes me feel very, very good about myself, and I already put myself into the future body of myself, etc., etc. So actually I think, yeah, I really like that, and I don't want to drink Coke anymore. So you actually bring the result here already, and this is going to fuel your actions, your willpower. And you can also see this as an algorithm that there are 2 points of potential. One is your vision of self now, and the other is your vision of self in the future when you have achieved your goals. And there is a gap between those 2 points. And actually, this gap is the amount of fuel you get from this. Of course, when you get too unrealistic and the goal is very high, and if the time horizon is very short, it's easy actually to hurt yourself, because if you go for too big goals in too little time, you just disappoint yourself deeply, and this can actually strongly chip a chunk of your self-trust off. So it's not a strategy to go for, but having realistic goals and a sure vision is something that tunes your mind to act appropriately and in accordance with your goals. So definitely visualize yourself being in this state where you have achieved the goal, and it actually doesn't matter what goals these are, and also think realistically, because this can save yourself lots of peace of mind and avoid several traumas, what can happen sometimes. I think what is very often underestimated is the role of rest and breaks, and giving yourself just leisure time, being easy on yourself in the process of improving and establishing new patterns. I would again bring a metaphor. Let's say that you have a new worker who is inexperienced, is physically not the strongest kind of person, and you're the boss. And you don't want to turn into bully. Let's say that it's physical work, something related to construction. And now if you just put another task, and force this person to constantly work, you are actually very quickly straining this person over, and it would also mean that soon you're going to lose this worker. And then you would probably have a gap, and you don't have anyone employed, and all the business would go down, or all your possibilities would go down. So you don't want this to happen. And willpower is also related to being like a muscle, because it can be trained. So you also want to make sure that the tasks that you take are not too big. It's very, very important to pay attention to fatigue and what you're experiencing internally, because fatigue is a strong signal from your brain telling you that actually I'm exhausting a resource, and this could lead to ego depletion and actually also fatigue, which can delay all kind of positive initiatives from your side. You can see willpower as a limited pool of some kind of fuel that you can use. And it actually doesn't matter even which kind of conscious decisions you make. If these decisions need lots of devotion, it's sort of draining the pool quite a bit. So be easy on yourself. Take tasks which are simple enough and easy enough to accomplish. And then a very, very positive, I would say even miraculous thing happens, that every time you accomplish a small task, you actually grow your muscle of willpower, because you will start believing in yourself more and more. every time you accomplish something, doesn't matter how small the step is, you actually have told yourself through real deeds, real actions, that yes, my decision matters, I'm able to carry it through, and actually I'm able to achieve success. So you want to add these bits over a longer period of time, and you will see a tremendous change in your self-attitude. For me personally, it's, for example, very difficult when I'm involved in, let's say, everyday small decisions related to, I don't know, dishes or putting books somewhere away or dealing with that kind of things. They are not of highest priority, but they drain my willpower quite a lot. So it's also that it even sometimes doesn't matter how important and which priority the decision is, it's still draining the pool quite a bit. So prioritizing where to use conscious decisions and where to replace the patterns, it's important. So keep your willpower full for more important decisions, and the moment you feel fatigue or need to pause, just go for it. It's very rewarding, and it helps you to replenish this pool of willpower to actually grow it over time. And about the same Coke example, actually one of the very easy and good change would be that I just don't buy Coke anymore. So if there is no Coke in my fridge, you actually take the decision further away from the environment where it's easy to falter. So the decision is not made anymore in the kitchen where you are used to seeing the fridge and this automatic neural network can activate, but the decision is made when you're shopping. So changing the environment in a way that you don't need to struggle with different decisions constantly is also a very, very powerful strategy to make life easier and also be more successful, and also not to drain the pool of willpower too much. By now we have explored powerful tools and strategies to foster your willpower. Knowing how to visualize, taking manageable, realistic steps, giving yourself rest, treating yourself well, knowing that willpower is actually a muscle which you can train, and then changing, adjusting your environment a little bit so that you move straightforward temptations and distractions from it, are powerful tools, and having them in your backpack gives you definitely strength on your way towards yourself. The next video will be about focusing, and there we target again crucial, unavoidable and really important strategies and aspects of midlife. If this video helped you, I would be very happy if you also shared it with other people who might need it and for whom it could be helpful. So I'm here with you on your every step, on your journey towards congruence and finding your true self. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up, share the video and subscribe. Then every time I post a new video, you can reach it right away. And I'm posting a video every Wednesday. So thank you for watching and see you next time.